Heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic are pervasive in our environment due to industrial pollution, food, water, and even certain medical procedures. While small amounts of these metals are harmless and even essential for some bodily functions, excessive accumulation can lead to toxicity, which manifests in various signs and symptoms. Recognizing these symptoms early is crucial for diagnosis and treatment. And so, in today's video, we will explore the numerous signs of heavy metal toxicity, providing a detailed understanding of how these metals affect the body and what are the early signs to detect it. Number 1. Chronic fatigue and weakness. One of the most common signs of heavy metal toxicity is chronic fatigue. This is not just regular tiredness, but a persistent feeling of exhaustion that does not improve with rest. Heavy metals like mercury and lead can disrupt cellular processes, particularly those involved in energy production within the mitochondria, the powerhouse of cells. By inhibiting these processes, heavy metals can significantly reduce the body's ability to generate energy, leading to prolonged periods of fatigue and weakness. A study published in the Journal of Trace Elements in Medicine and Biology found that high levels of lead in the blood were correlated with chronic fatigue in exposed populations. Similarly, mercury exposure has been linked to mitochondrial dysfunction, which directly impacts energy levels and makes you feel exhausted. If you're feeling exhausted too much, you might be having the problem. Number 2. Digestive issues. Digestive disturbances such as nausea, abdominal pain, diarrhea, and constipation are the major signs of heavy metal exposure. Heavy metals can damage the lining of the gastrointestinal tract, leading to inflammation and disruption of normal digestive functions. They can also alter the gut microbiota, which plays a critical role in digestion and overall gut health. Research in the Environmental Health Perspectives Journal has shown that heavy metals like cadmium and arsenic can cause significant gastrointestinal distress by irritating the gut lining and disrupting microbial balance. Number 3. Neurological and cognitive problems. Heavy metal toxicity can lead to a range of neurological symptoms, including brain fog, memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and mood disorders such as anxiety and depression. Heavy metals have neurotoxic effects, meaning they can cross the blood-brain barrier and interfere with neurotransmitter function. This disruption can lead to cognitive impairments and mood disturbances. A study in the Journal of Neurology found that exposure to lead and mercury was associated with cognitive decline and neurological disorders. Chronic exposure to these metals can result in significant damage to brain tissue, leading to long-term cognitive deficits. Number 4. Skin changes. Heavy metals can manifest through various skin conditions, including rashes, itching, and changes in skin color. If you feel a sudden change in your skin, like the redness or the appearance of rashes, it could be a sign of heavy metal toxicity. Metals like arsenic and mercury can accumulate in the skin, causing irritation and cellular damage. This can lead to dermatological symptoms that are often mistaken for other skin conditions. The Journal of Clinical Dermatology reports that chronic exposure to arsenic can cause hyperpigmentation and keratosis, while mercury exposure can lead to dermatitis and acrodynia. Number 5. Immune system dysfunction. Frequent infections and a general feeling of being unwell can indicate a weakened immune system, often a result of heavy metal toxicity. You might feel sick and get a drippy nose because of the weakened immune system affected by heavy metal toxicity. Heavy metals can impair the function of white blood cells, which are crucial for the body's immune response. This weakened response makes the body more susceptible to infections and diseases. A study in the Journal of Immunotoxicology found that lead exposure can significantly reduce the effectiveness of the immune system by inhibiting the activity of T cells and macrophages and removing your body's ability to fight bacteria and diseases. Number 6. Kidney and liver damage. The kidneys and liver, which filter toxins from the body, are particularly vulnerable to heavy metal toxicity. Symptoms include changes in urine color, swelling in the lower extremities, and jaundice. Heavy metals like cadmium and lead can accumulate in these organs, leading to cellular damage and impaired function. This can result in reduced filtration and detoxification capacity. The Journal of Toxicology has documented that cadmium exposure is strongly linked to kidney damage and decreased liver function. Long-term exposure can lead to chronic kidney disease and liver fibrosis, resulting in kidney failure as well. Number 7. Respiratory issues. Difficulty breathing, chronic cough, and lung damage are a sign of presence of heavy metals such as cadmium, commonly found in cigarette smoke and industrial emissions inside your body. These metals can cause inflammation and oxidative damage to lung tissue, impairing respiratory function and leading to chronic respiratory conditions. Research published in Environmental Research highlights the link between cadmium exposure and respiratory diseases, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Prolonged exposure can lead to irreversible lung damage. Number 8. Cardiovascular problems. Heavy metal toxicity can contribute to cardiovascular issues such as high blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, and an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. If you're suffering from sudden pains in the chest and feeling changes in your heartbeat, it is a sign that you're being exposed to a large amount of heavy metal. Heavy metals can induce oxidative stress, leading to endothelial dysfunction and atherosclerosis. This results in damage to blood vessels and an increased risk of cardiovascular events. A study in the American Journal of Cardiology found a significant correlation between lead exposure and hypertension. Mercury and cadmium have also been implicated in increasing the risk of cardiovascular diseases through similar mechanisms. Navas-Acien et al., 2007. Number 9. Reproductive issues. Heavy metal exposure can impact reproductive health, leading to hormonal imbalances, menstrual irregularities, reduced fertility, and developmental issues in children exposed in utero. Metals like lead and mercury can interfere with endocrine function and disrupt hormone production, affecting both male and female reproductive systems. The Journal of Reproductive Toxicology has shown that lead exposure is linked to reduced sperm quality and menstrual irregularities. Prenatal exposure to mercury has been associated with developmental delays and neurological impairments in children. So what can be the diagnosis and treatment of heavy metal toxicity? Medical history and symptom assessment. A thorough medical history and assessment of symptoms are the first steps in diagnosing heavy metal toxicity. You should inform your healthcare provider about potential sources of exposure, such as occupation, dietary habits, and environmental factors. After that, you might be asked to check for any of the given tests. Blood tests. Blood tests can measure levels of heavy metals like lead and mercury. Elevated levels indicate recent exposure. Urine tests. Urine tests can detect the presence of heavy metals and their metabolites, indicating both acute and chronic exposure. Hair analysis. Hair analysis can provide information about long-term exposure to heavy metals as these substances accumulate in hair over time. Advanced Diagnostics Chelation Challenge test. This test involves administering a chelating agent to bind with heavy metals in the body, followed by urine collection to measure the excreted metals. Imaging. In some cases, imaging studies like X-rays or MRI scans may be used to detect heavy metal deposits in the body. What's more surprising is the treatment of this toxicity. The chelation therapy. Chelation therapy is the primary treatment for heavy metal toxicity. This involves administering chelating agents such as Aditya, DMSA, or DMPS, which bind to heavy metals and facilitate their excretion through urine. If you're seeing only minor signs, then you can also change your diet and reduce the risk factors. Include these foods into your daily diet. Antioxidant-rich foods. Consuming foods rich in antioxidants, such as berries, leafy greens, and nuts, can help combat oxidative stress caused by heavy metals. High fiber foods. Fiber-rich foods like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains can aid in the elimination of heavy metals through the digestive tract. Hydration. Staying well hydrated helps the kidneys filter and excrete heavy metals more efficiently. Try to look more for these supplements. Vitamin C and E. These antioxidants can help reduce oxidative damage caused by heavy metals. Glutathione. This powerful antioxidant supports detoxification processes in the liver. Minerals. Supplementing with minerals like zinc and selenium can help displace heavy metals from binding sites in the body. Lifestyle modifications, avoiding sources of exposure, identifying and eliminating sources of heavy metal exposure is crucial. This might involve using water filters, avoiding certain foods, and minimizing exposure to industrial pollutants. Regular detoxification practices. Incorporating regular detoxification practices, such as sauna therapy and fasting, can support the body's natural detoxification processes. Heavy metals metal toxicity is a serious health concern that can manifest through a variety of symptoms affecting multiple systems in the body. Early detection and intervention are crucial for mitigating the adverse effects of heavy metals. By understanding the signs of heavy metal toxicity and seeking appropriate medical evaluation and treatment, you can take proactive steps to protect your health and well-being. If you have any questions in mind, let us know in the comments section below, and if you have found this video useful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more health-related content.